It's actually true that once the terrain is set up and everything looks like it's going to work out, you can flip things, install difficulties. Well, in some cases, it's difficult enough, right? Not always. Sometimes by looking at the layout of a battlefield, it looks like it's kind of a foregone conclusion about what's going to... I've said this before, about where things are going to happen on the game table based on the terrain, right? But also where units enter, which could completely turn it on its head. What I'm saying is, an example of this in just one small example, would be the use of those marshland icons, those little blue guys. And it's interesting, by the way, they are painted blue. They're not printed in blue. They're painted blue. And I'm going to leave them like that because they're high contrast, and you can see that is a marsh. By putting those in locations, you block anticipation. By looking at, like, for instance, if we were to put them in the top right-hand corner near the fork of that river, it may dramatically change the opportunity for movement in that region. So if we use that philosophy in other locations, you can create a block you can use terrain as a block to make things happen differently. Another example would be on the far left of this image, that large hill. You could put the marsh terrain along the edge of the game table, because you would think, okay, there's a pretty open area. Troops can move there, and they'll get on top of that hill without too much trouble, and it's fairly covered, unless the troops start up there, or the enemy starts up there, right? By putting the marsh in there, that blocks off that whole left side. And you could say that for a lot of locations. Look at the right-hand side, the far edge. You could put those marshlands right there. And that would prevent, or, it's even better, not the far edge, but just above that forest, on the right-hand side, we'll call it the right side of the creek, river, whatever. Put a marshland just in front of those trees, and it like doubles the size of the trees, or it creates a block, so a defender could get in there on the other side of the marsh. And how does the person attack from the north, from the top? Through a marshland? I don't think so. So you can see that by using terrain, you can block anticipation or expected maneuverabilities. You could put that marshland right in the middle of the game table, right? It would look like Waterloo, right in the middle, between the two, in that valley there, which is actually probably a true statement. In between the fields, what was that? Flipping back to, how do you flip? Is it control? I forget now what it is. What's the flipping for? It's not Alt 1. No, it's Control 1. No, it's not. What the heck is it? How do you flip to the... Anyway, you get the idea. So, yeah. And that could be a random event, too. You could start with no marshes in place. Start with a lot of things not in place, as a matter of fact. And then just say, you could say a probability. What's the probability of everything being in their proper location, right? Or individual items. What's the probability? You don't want, see, the tape has already been down. That's the other issue, by the way. When you put the tape down to represent the road going over the hill, now you can't move that hill. So it's an issue. Well, you can. because it's not stuck really to the fabric, right, of the battlefield. It's stuck to the hill. But still, there might be some elements that are stuck to the fabric that now you got to peel up in order to move. Anyway, you could have like even odd for the location of a group of trees. You show it, players see it, the game is going to begin. Everybody's got their troops ready, right? They maybe got them in place and everything, but then all of a sudden, you go, okay, everybody, random event, terrain moves, terrain repositions, and then you start rolling for stuff that is movable. Don't get carried away, of course, with a lot of stuff being movable, but the majority of things might be movable, and this would represent the fog of war or the fact that the maps were wrong, inaccurate or something. Also, it may just not be you pick something up, you move it. So you could have a die roll, and this is where, again, you could use the CNC dice. Okay, so on color, the item shifts 2 hexes to the right. On code, the item shifts 2 hexes to the top, whatever top is, I guess. And then on CNC, the item is picked up, like gone. So it's a 1 in 6 chance that the thing is picked up. It's a 30% chance or 16% chance that the item shifts to the right, and it's a 30% chance that the thing shifts to the north, something like that. Anyway, you could use it. Also, you could just use a shotfall procedure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around the center. All right. So that's how that's going to work, and we'll come back and start putting troops in and maybe clean up some of that terrain. I think also I'm going to make those fabric fences so you can see how that kind of works. Thanks.